Hi, I'm Eleanor from Motor Matters. You know the channel, you know me, but you may notice something a little bit different in appearance and in the sound in this video. But that's just because I had, shall we call it, a little minor stroke the other day, which will be over with and I will be back. Do not worry. But for the next while, our videos are going to be a little bit different to allow for factors and allow for life. So come on in, William.
Minor stroke. After, let's be honest, he drove the Alpha Tonale on launch and that put him in hospital.
No, it was actually the Alpha 4C that raised my heart rate.
Let's not mention that. But
okay, so for the next while, good old William Leadfoot Kelly is going to be doing a lot more of the video stuff for me, and we're going to be doing these videos with him doing most of it, and I'll just chirp in between.
oh,
So, William.
at least that's not going to change.
What?
The chirping.
Ah, come on, do me a favor. I'm still here, eh? Okay. Volvo XC40.
Let's start. I want to show people. You notice I've opened.
Wait, before you do that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's an XC40, but what's different?
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I was
just
getting
look
to.
there, what's different?
There's a big hint here.
Yeah.
There's a big hint here. And then all is revealed in the frunk.
I taught him that word.
Because what is this? Ta-da! What we
Called
have
a charging cable.
is a charging cable, because this is the XC40 recharge, an all-electric
P6.
version of the Volvo XC40. The P6, as Alan has just correctly pointed out,
Yeah.
which is, Alan, the single engine front wheel drive.
Right, one electric motor on the front.
That's
On
right.
the front wheels, 165 kilowatts.
Goes like crazy.
You get the P8 version,
Yes.
which adds
Another motor.
another motor, pretty much the same power ratio on the back as well.
So effectively double the power.
Double the power. Crazy. Crazy.
As it is, let's just go through this
Yeah,
car. So
okay.
our first hint is obviously we have no ventilation,
Yeah.
which is because we don't have an engine.
You don't have an engine,
We
you
have-
don't have to keep it cool.
We have electric motors, exactly.
So, in other words, aerodynamics.
Exactly. And of course we have a little front-facing camera there.
Yeah.
And what's important is that this car's got a number of cameras, so we've got the 3D
360 overhead.
overhead
And. Okay, now what Volvo have decided to do is only bring in one spec level.
right,
So,
which makes sense.
of course it does. So we're not going to go through everything over here, but this is top sec. Okay, 20-inch wheels, the whole thing, as you'd expect.
And what I want to mention on these wheels is we've actually got a fairly decent
Sidewall.
sidewall on them, and I think that's for two reasons. One, the car is heavy; it's almost 2 tons
Yeah.
because we have almost a 400-kilometer range,
Yes.
which in South African terms is great. It is really nice. So I think this is here to give us a bit of extra ride comfort.
Okay.
And on 20-inch rims, you know, it's a substantial amount of rubber that you've
It
got
is,
on the road.
but it's smooth, eh?
It's absolutely smooth
Yeah.
and quiet.
Well,
And what's interesting about the car, of course, is you've got no engine noise inside it. So every little bit of road noise is amplified. You hear it more.
you suddenly
But
think it's
Exactly. And you suddenly think, hang on, but this car's still quiet. I mean, the cabin
Yeah.
interior is well put together. The car is absolutely solid. The ride is smooth. It's very
Now look, what
impressive,
we're gonna
very
do-
impressive vehicle.
I've done so many tests on the XC40 before, okay?
Yes.
That we're not going to spend too much time on showing you the car.
Well, yeah, on the
because
inside, as you say,
the inside, yeah,
it's an
over there,
XC40.
it's got the electric seats, it's got all those things. We'll do the interior just now, so just pop around to the back here.
We have
And what I love is the fact that this is the baby in the Volvo range, but it's a medium SUV.
But it is a medium
Yeah,
SUV.
yeah.
I completely agree with you. There is so much space in there to put legs and things.
Loads and loads of space.
What's interesting is you've got a powered tailgate.
Let's just
Wait for that.
Of course, you got on the seat
Camera
pillar there the favorite word,
Yes,
recharge.
recharge.
I love it.
I-
Really.
And it's subtle. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not brash. It's not in your
Yeah.
face. And And the boot space is okay. It's not brilliant, but you know, you've got space to put things in there.
Yeah, well.
What is absent completely though is a spare wheel of any kind. So
You see, no.
you've got inflatable stuff on it.
Okay.
But you know, this is an urban vehicle. It's not going to be taken down to the coast 3,000 k's.
Well,
in December.
that's my whole thing. I've said before,
Yes.
when it comes to electric cars, even 300-400k range,
Yes.
the happiest guy in South Africa has to be the owner of the Wimpy in Harry Smith.
Yes, because he's going to make a fortune.
When you stop there to charge, even on a fast charger,
Absolutely.
whatever. And what if someone stopped 5 minutes before you?
And someone's going to have, you know, a couple of cups of coffee at Wimpy as
Exactly.
well. And also
So,
again, here we go, the badging, it's subtle.
yeah,
It's just
very
that.
subtle.
That's it.
But
You know?
you can look, the cameras, the beepers, everything is on this car that you can possibly want.
And it's still an attractive looking
Look,
you know,
I'm
XC40.
the XC range to me is one of my favorites in this category. Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
that's for sure.
Underrated is the word
Yeah.
I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's check it out on the road. Let's have a look inside.
Let's go.
There
have a
we
look
go.
Inside. Yeah.
Right.
So on the road, and I have to say, electric vehicles have got me sold because the no gearing, absolutely always on instant power, and there is a lot of it, is a driving experience second to none. And
It's the smoothness that stands out to me. I must tell you that it is just so ultra smooth.
And
The
you-
acceleration, everything.
you drive everything off the accelerator.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used the brake once since I've had this car, because the accelerator being the opposite of acceleration, when you take your foot off, it regenerates.
No.
The regeneration facility on this car is hectic. So it applies significant braking, in inverted
Yeah.
commas, to the using the regen system, that you never need to use the brakes. So I think your brake pads, you're going to put one set of brake pads on this car for life.
Well, Volvo described it as single pedal driving.
Yes, that's exactly what
Okay.
it is.
Yeah. So the brake pedal, as you say, I seem to recall that you can delve into this screen
Yes.
and into 55 sub-menus.
Yes,
And I think there are different settings
yes.
for how strong you want the regenerative.
So you can kind of turn it off or
Yeah.
turn it on.
Well,
I
not
wasn't
on or
too
off,
sure.
I think down.
I wasn't
mild.
too sure. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about that. I like the way it's set at the moment, because it allows me to literally get the car to crawl, like I'm going to do now. I'm going to come to almost a complete halt, and we are crawling forward at like a couple of millimeters an hour.
Yeah.
And you can do that. That's the level of sensitivity that you have in this car. It's amazing. The only downside to an electric, and especially one that has a 400 kilometer range as this one does, is the weight. And given how quickly these things press on, I think that a couple of people might get themselves into a little bit of trouble if you're going to do lane changes or changes of direction at speed, because the momentum that's behind this car is substantial, and it's all low down, because that's where the battery pack is,
Correct.
is kept.
Although it's a,
So
I'm saying medium SUV. It's not a crossover. So
No,
it's
no,
too
no,
big for
no,
that.
it's-
Although it's the baby of the Volvo range.
yes,
I have driven this a little bit before as well.
yes,
So I can comment there. But what I found, you say it's heavy.
it is heavy.
Now, you know this is the T6 model. Let's
Yes.
just make this clear, which
Yes.
means
One
it's
motor.
only got a single electric motor on the front wheels.
Correct.
You do get the T8 model,
Yes.
which has on the rear wheels as well.
I cannot describe how much I want to drive that car.
Now, I've driven it, okay? I'll
Sure.
say two things. The power is absurd. It's ridiculous. But you know what? I found the car heavy.
Yes.
And I found this one a lighter, more pleasant car to drive. I'm talking urban. Maybe on the highway or on a racetrack or on a whatever,
Sure.
the 8 may make more sense.
Sure.
But what's wrong with 165 kilowatts?
Nothing.
In this
Absolutely
body.
nothing. And the fact that it's this continuous shove.
Yeah,
It doesn't change. It's just pushing you from north to wherever you end up stopping. It's this continuous, and as I say, what I love about it is this absolute instantaneous thing. And the closest I can describe this to in terms of the ICE equivalent is my Mini.
Yeah.
So a mini, very, very close ratio gearbox, and you can literally put your foot down pretty much anywhere and grab a gap in the traffic, and that's kind of what this car can do too.
Probably even more so.
Probably even more so.
Yeah,
Although, you know, suddenly you've got this great big SUV jumping in front of you that wasn't there a second ago. Could be a bit disconcerting for some, but the car can do it. And I must say that any reservations I had about driving an electric car are gone. I absolutely adore it.
I agree with you 99.9%, okay? We're all going to have the argument now about the practicality of electric in South Africa if you want to travel.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, the whole thing with our dear friends at Eskom, who don't have Black Friday, they just have black.
Black every day.
Correct. So, you know, it's that's where they're killing the whole thing.
Well,
and we're not even going now to the tax factor.
Let's talk a little bit about the charging. So I got the car on 79%, 80% charge, let's call it. I drove it quite a bit yesterday because I only had it for 2 days. So I drove it quite a bit yesterday, and I flattened it down to about 33%.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's probably a little bit low. And, you know, the little range anxiety bug starts to kick in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let me plug it in. So I plugged it into my wall socket using my 15 amps that I have available to me, and the electric cable that we'll show you in the video a little bit later on.
In the front.
Into the wall socket, and I charged it pretty much from about 3 o'clock yesterday to about 8 o'clock this morning. We did have 2 rounds of load shedding.
Okay, which obviously really would have interfered with everything.
At about 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe 4.5, 5 hours in total. And I got the car back up to around about 71% over that time.
Okay.
So the charging at home on a home plug, you could do it, but really you want the Volvo
you want the
fast charge.
Correct. Yeah. So
to just take that edge off.
Look, the alternative is, if depending on what you're using this car for, if it's for your commute, your daily commute, then if you plug it in overnight, even if it only goes up by another 30%,
that's fine.
Considering you've got, say, 400 Ks.
Yes.
And let's be conservative, you've got 300 Ks. You're still going to get another 100 to 150 overnight.
Absolutely.
Now, who does that on a daily basis?
Exactly.
So make the car fit your life.
No, absolutely. I say it's such a minor thing because, I mean, honestly, the charging infrastructure already is available. We had a look at grid cars. They're pretty much everywhere. Actually, you can find the grid cars within about a 15-minute drive at worst.
Yeah.
And plug it in, charge it up, and away you go. And I didn't have the chance to plug it into grid cars, which is a bit of a pity. So if we get the T8, I would like to, you know, sort of test it and just compare the charging times and see. But really, the infrastructure in South Africa is there. You know,
well, no,
it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah. I'm going
to. I think as we get more cars coming in, the infrastructure is going to start to scale, and you know the interesting thing is that the closest charging point to me, funny enough, is actually a BMW.
Okay.
A BMW.
But grid cars is pretty much
close,
across all of them anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And I'm sure if I was in desperate need, BMW would allow me to just plug into their system and pay them some money for the electricity.
All right, but I mean, you can see smooth, comfortable, relaxed.
I have to say, and it's got all the toys. No stop-start button. There's no. It's blanked out, and all you do is you get in the car.
Yeah.
Provided you've got the little key in your pocket or somewhere in the car, you just pop it in drive, pop it in reverse, and off you go.
And I've got to say one thing. I'm
amazing.
Very impressed. We've been driving for 5 minutes now.
Yes.
No lead foot. You've actually been behaving.
I'll give you a bit of a little lead foot on the way home, just provided everyone's ready for it, because it's substantial, you know. So the car definitely pulls. There's no doubt about it.
All right.
The inside of the XC40, and
now what we're going to do is we're not going to show you the whole inside. You've seen it before.
Yeah.
What's different on this one compared to the normal petrol-driven XC40s?
You're going to have to run me through it, because this is my first XC40.
Right. Okay, the first thing is, no stop-start button, it's missing.
That's it.
Because we discussed while we're on the road, literally you get in the car, you put in drive and you go.
That's it.
And then, of course, on the instrumentation.
The whole thing is completely
The whole
digital,
thing is,
which is
yeah,
nice.
no, that's normal.
And it's telling us that we're not plugged in.
Telling us, but I'm trying, if you just grab there, it's down there, you'll see a couple of the crucial points.
Yes.
That, for example, your consumption is 21.9 kilowatt hours.
Per 100 kilometers.
And the other thing is your battery is 56%.
And I have no idea whether that's good or not, but there we go.
Well, it's half charged. And somewhere, if you scroll enough, it'll show you a range. It should show you a range to empty.
There is a range to empty.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can find it. That's our total driving
Yeah.
that we've done in
Right.
the vehicle. There will be a range somewhere.
There's a range to empty, which, if you me, I would be worrying about that constantly.
And if you want to go to it,
Yeah.
you've got the range assist here,
Aha.
and now it tells you.
Okay,
kind
you
of
see.
like our speed at the moment is dreadful. This is an instantaneous menu I've discovered.
Right.
Because I thought it was over the trip, but it isn't. It's actually instantaneous. So when you're on the highway, it tells you you're going too fast because you're going to wear out your batteries quickly. Your driving styles, how hard you accelerate.
Okay, well, what it's saying
that's
here,
what you've got
I'm
left,
trying
yeah.
to work out, so we've got 160 Ks left. That's
So
what it's
between
saying.
230 and 120 is what I think, and the way we're currently driving, we've got 160 Ks.
Yes, so it's going
That's
to
what
fluctuate
yes,
depending on the speed you're driving.
exactly that. And then this consumption is, again, an instantaneous one.
Yeah.
And we're using 3 kilowatts per hour and we're standing still. And the reason why we're using 3 kilowatts per hour is because the system's on.
Correct, yeah.
So
well, I mean, it's powering the
yes.
screen, etc.
And radio and
Yeah.
all that sort of thing.
Okay.
And
Other than that, it's a full house, full spec, everything you could want XC40.
with the obligatory sunroof.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So I don't even want it. Now, the last thing we haven't mentioned,
Yeah.
price.
Talk to me.
It's just over 1.1 million for this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to round it off. But there are two things about that. First of all, you order it online from Volvo,
Yes.
South Africa, okay? It's an online situation. The last batch that they brought in of, I think it was 25 cars
Yes.
that they released
Yes.
was sold out in 24 hours.
Good Lord.
Yeah. The
So-
previous batch of P8s they brought of 50 cars sold out in, I think, 2 days.
It's a
So-
car an hour. That's
Yeah,
amazing. So
yeah.
there's demand for these electric cars.
There really is demand. And I think as they get more and more availability, obviously it'll help.
And as people drive them, as I say, I'm sold on them. I think this is the way forward. So the pricing point is interesting. You know, what interests me is that the fact that yes, we've got a global supply logistics issue and parts issues
Yeah,
and
correct.
component issues. I understand all that. What I don't get is why don't we have electric small cars? So is it the cost of the batteries and the engine and everything that's only worth putting it into the upmarket premium SUVs? Or when are we going to get to the point where we get a Honda Jazz electric or a Honda Brio
Well-
electric or something along those lines that
You know when we'll get them.
here?
You know when? When the tax situation comes right. Because Renault have, I think it's called the Zoe
Yes,
in Europe,
yes,
which is a Twingo size.
yes,
Okay? I
Yes.
think it's the successor to the Twingo.
yes.
And in Europe, it's incredibly competitively priced.
I'm going to hand this to our camera lady. Yes.
Okay? So the point being, when they stop charging this whacking extra duty or
And
tax,
bring it in line with a
and bring
normal
it in line
ICE
with if
pricing.
it was just the same as ICE, forget even where in many countries around the world the tax is even lower.
There's a subsidy, exactly.
Well, one way or another,
Yes.
it's subsidized.
Yes.
Even if that just was equivalent.
Yes.
But what is interesting, and now Volvo, BMW, and Merck have all done, and I don't quite know how, is have you noticed the latest electrics they're launching, all at the upper end,
Yes.
are actually not more expensive than the ICE ones?
No.
So I'm not quite sure how they're absorbing the difference in duty, tax, whatever, but we are really getting parity.
So that tells me that actually the technology behind these cars is possibly a little bit cheaper, actually. because you don't have to have all the complexities of an ICE engine. You only have to have the complexities of an electric motor, which is a simple thing to make.
Well, it's also economies of scale.
You've got batteries, I accept.
Yeah.
But economies of scale, as these things start to kick in, I think we're going to see more and more and more electrics coming in at the entry level. And I think when you get them down to the entry level, then we really are going to see pent-up demand kicking in, because I think then a lot of South Africans are going to be like, these things are actually fun to drive.
But you know,
they make a lot of sense, and let's get them.
What I think we need here right now, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me, is a compact electric car with a range of 200 k's.
Perfect.
Who does more than that
200
daily?
k's, exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Let's be real, and let's not have this thing that you've got to have this range.
Exactly.
And you've got to get to Durban on a tank or whatever. That South Africans seem to be fixated on.
Yeah, no, exactly. And as we say, there's not it's not 15 minutes away from the nearest grid cars if you really run into trouble.
Yeah, in emergency, but
I've
got a good friend who works, I think it's about 30 k's each way to work.
Perfect.
And I've said to him, so you charge your car up and you plug it in at work while you're there for the day. You don't even have to do it at home at night.
But even with 180 k's that you're doing, that's 6 days. That's a week's worth of travel on a single charge.
But even so, you plug it in at the office.
And you plug it in the office.
And they work in the normal hour, okay, so, but you're stuck at the office for 8 hours or whatever.
Exactly.
You'll have enough. You'll never have an issue.
You'll never run out.
So really, but Volvo, what a good job. What a good job.
Lovely, lovely, lovely vehicle.
I'm waiting to compare this to the Mercedes EQA.
That'll be
because that is exactly
comparative
to this. Pricing, everything. So that's now my next comparison. Who knows when I'll get there? I may have to send a Leadfoot out.
I've driven it.
I know you have. I didn't. Let's not go
there.
there.
That was at Auto Week, but that was only briefly around Kyalami. So
it's not
really
quite the
count.
same. But that's going to be the only comparison I can mention right now.
Yes.
But overall, hey, Volvo, well done.
Yeah, definitely. That's a 2 thumbs up from me.
So for Motor Matters, I'm Alan R. You're probably going to see Leadfoot next time. But so what? And just one last little point I want to make. If you want a car like this or any other car you want, go to www.changecars.co.za. Check out what's listed on their website, because remember, they only list cars from franchise dealers.
Yeah.
So you've got a good safety net over there. You'll get a good and the right deal.